program Social Buzz Extra here on Global Television. You know, Social Buzz Extra is that one show that brings you all of the trending happenings on social media. If it's buzzing, then you know we are on it and we're bringing it right to your doorstep. All right, I am Ogochukwu Mobnor, and today we have quite a lot, to talk about, because I don't know why it is the new year, but then there's so much happening. There's so much happening on social media. Of course, social media is one place that can never be boring. That's the reason why a lot of us get data. And you hear that some people tell you that, oh, social media is it's like a university, where you get to learn. And this university, it doesn't just have one department, it has several departments. All right, let's run into the topic of the day. Today, we're looking at a family that uncovers bundles of long forgotten Naira notes by their father. You must be asking, what is this? What is going on? All right, they discovered bundles of old Naira notes this year that had been kept by their father long time ago. He was probably saving it for the future. Unfortunately, this doesn't have value anymore. So sad. Very, very sad. Let's take a look at that video shortly.
I just said, I'm never a little. I'm Naira. I do that kind of thing. Naira. I just said, Chacha will not be. And they believe what yeah, bravo. This is what I want life. What did you call up? I just said you to cook. Daddy, me no gong my. This was a pay. I don't want to deliver. I just said this was a robot to design papa. I just think, oh, you are sorry. Tada dia leno ye. Ti ba be ba ni. Ko ya le orukure. So si wa sorry o ajese. Wa sorry. Ti ba be ba lo. Ti ba be ni. Ko ya le wa to be. Aje. Abe tule kan ni. O po bi sekere. Wa sorry. E be le. A ti ba le wo le di aje o.
5 naira.
Any 5 naira. Any Chacha. Everything naira. Aji. Any was a clown or any blue. I just saw the bad. It was a book. It was a book. Murika. And I am Murika. I am Murika. Maybe I'm good to listen.
That's a lot of money right there. I must tell you, that man who owns this money must have been a millionaire in his time. But then I'm wondering, what do you have to do? I know so many of our politicians have discovered money in different, parts of their houses, but this particular person wasn't really mentioned. His name wasn't known, so nobody knows if he was a political figure, or a civil servant, or just a common citizen of Nigeria. But then again, what do you do with such money stacked somewhere that nobody in the family knows? Honestly, we were talking about this in the morning, and Jumai said perhaps he would have invested it, and I had to counter that, because if you invest the money and did not let anybody know about your investment might just go down the drain. If you even say, okay, I'm buying shares, and nobody in your family knows about you buying shares, it could still also go down the drain. So many persons have money in the bank, different amount of money, different banks, and not even their partner, not their wife, not their siblings. Nobody knows about it. It just goes like that. And maybe when the person is no more, nobody can go to the bank to get their wealth, to get their property, be it gold, be it money, whatever it is, nobody can get it. How come you have this kind of money in the house? Did you know the last time we saw paper notes? After they moved from police, I can't remember. Okay, I really cannot remember when we moved from police, but I think that was about 7 to 8 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. You understand? And after we moved, I remember then, before moving to this polyester notes, the I think Central Bank of Nigeria, the government, there were announcements everywhere. Please, if you have old notes, paper notes, please bring them to the bank. It will be exchanged for the new, Naira notes, and you can take it back home while the bank knows what to do about the money. But then, I'm sure the family doesn't know about it. Because if they did, they would have brought this note. And if the man were to be alive then, he would have taken this note to the bank. So what exactly happened? How come they are discovering this? Some of you that dig the ground to bury your money, some put in the ceiling, some put in different parts of the house, please. That money could have gone a long way. Well, I do not know why he was actually saving it. Perhaps maybe to help the future of his children. He doesn't want them to suffer. But I didn't know that the world would definitely, evolve. We are going to move. We are not going to be staying in one place, not static. We move. Changes happen. That's the only thing that, is constant. Change. Anything can happen tomorrow. They could tell you, oh, we no longer use this polyester. We are going back to paper because we feel like, oh, the polyester has whatever cancerous effects and all of that. They could bring up one disadvantage and we'll all go back to paper notes. So maybe it would just benefit them if at all. But at this point, I really feel very bad, honestly. I don't know what they can do at this moment to, get that money to be, I don't know if they can go to the bank or do something. Juma was saying it in the morning. If they can go to the bank and the bank can have mercy on them, if that money is up to $1 million, they could give them 700,000. Why the bank keeps the change of 300,000 for doing the good work? But at this point, I can't tell. I can't tell what exactly is happening. You at home, if you discover this in the house and you discover that it was your late father that kept this money, what will you do? What is the first thing that will be going through your mind? What will be going through your mind? What is the first thing you are going to do? I need you to drop your thoughts on social media. Let us know what your thoughts are concerning this thing, this whole event that is just unfolding. Drop it on social media. Remember, it's Global Television on YouTube, Global TV NG, and let's know your topic. Okay, let's take comments as usual. We'll definitely want to hear what people online are saying as you are dropping your own comments here on our page on social media. So the first comment from Tiffy Music, and Tiffy says, they should find the nearest art museum or exhibit and sell it to them. They're like the only people that have this historic collection with them. They should utilize the opportunity. Yes, if they can actually that's kind of, gets to the nearest museum, of course, and exhibits this there. I think it's even better. It's going to, it's going to be historic. It's going to put their name also somehow in the map, like so and so discovered so and so chunk of old Naira notes and delivered it to the museum. Definitely, they will be remembered for something good, in the long run. But right now, that amount of money, I know 50 Naira was like one time, 20 Naira was one time the highest notes, Murtala Mohammed, we have him there. Then we had, the 50 Naira notes, which was the Wazobia. That was like the highest. There was no 100 Naira. So I think 100 Naira came out after 1999, thereabouts, I guess. After the swearing in of our first civilian president, which was Olusegun Obasanjo. That was when we started seeing 100 Naira notes. Then that 50 Naira note was the highest. Imagine someone having that in their house. That person must be a millionaire. All right, second comment is from Adesua Momodu. And Adesua says, where she won't change this plenty money like this, I pray bank accepts it from her, honestly. We are crying on her behalf. Okay, that money really looks big, but in present day Nigeria, I must tell you that money shouldn't, I don't think it's up to 100,000 Naira. It's less than 100,000 Naira. Way lesser than 100,000. But whatever it is, it was still money. If that money is up to 30,000, 40,000 Naira, back then, That's a big deal, you know. I heard my grandfathers bought cars for 150 naira. You know, they got tricycle for 50 naira and all of that. So that's actually a big deal. All right. The third comment is from Lil Zamani. And Lil Zamani says, now only God knows what hard work way their father do to get that funds by then. Honestly, that's a lot of hard work from that man to get such amount of money. It's not a day's job. He must have been saving for years, decades even. You know, you never can say. He must have been saving for a very long time just to make sure that his children or him himself do not suffer financially. But then, see what happened at the end of the day. Well, we hope that they actually take it to the museum, you know, so it will be exhibited there. It's better when it's exhibited and they will be remembered for good. All right, let's move over to the next topic for today. We're talking about Anthony Joshua, who is set to retire from boxing. So sad. We saw that sad incident unfold when everyone was celebrating, you know, about his friends who died in a very tragic accident. We really feel bad and we ask that the soul of these young men rest in perfect peace. A member of Anthony Joshua's family has claimed the former heavyweight champion is set to retire from boxing. Joshua was involved in a fatal crash in Nigeria last Monday when his vehicle crashed into a stationary truck on the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway in Makun. The 36-year-old escaped with only minor injuries, but his close friends and team members Shinogami and Latif Lat Ayodele died at the scene. Their funerals took place at a London mosque on Sunday, January 4th, with Joshua present to pay his final respects. Joshua fought just 10 days before last week's fatal crash, knocking out Jake Paul in Miami on 19th December. He is yet to speak on his future in boxing, with his promoter Eddie Hearn and Matchroom Boxing providing no further comment on their fighter since an initial statement released the night of the incident. But Joshua's uncle Adedamola Joshua has now claimed the Briton is ready to walk away from the sport. The major thing there is that he has retired from boxing. That is one thing that makes us glad, because each time he's fighting in the ring, we are always carried away emotionally. Adedamola told The Punch. Each time he's knocked down, it's just like the heart is coming out of our chest. All these emotional feelings whenever he's fighting is too much trauma for us also. Now that he has said that he's leaving while the ovation is highest, we are happy. Asked by the publication of Joshua has communicated that decision to the family, Adedamola responded, yes, you know, that's what exactly went, you know, about, you know, few days ago, I was discussing with somebody. I said, since this incident happened, this accident, you know, Joshua's friend, and you know, he was flown to London for proper medication. I told my friend something. I said, I don't think this kind of incident, this kind of tragic accident can actually make someone, you know, not go back to that profession. He could actually resign from the profession or retire, you know, from the profession, seeing the disappointment he got, you know. At that time, you know, news were everywhere that there were no emergency ambulance to take this friend to the nearest hospital, at least to get treatment until, you know, they give up. You know, it's so bad. If people come over to Nigeria and they get to experience things like this, they don't feel good about it. I know the governor was called out several times concerning this incident, and you know, it's really a sad one for us that he had to retire this way. We wanted him to retire honorably. Like, we watched his different boxing you know, games, and we enjoyed it, especially the last one with Jake where he knocked him out. We were so happy about that when everyone celebrated him, and you know, it was more like a Christmas gift for Nigerians, only for this kind of incident to happen. Well, like I said earlier, we only get to say rest in peace to the deceased, and we also ask that God Almighty give him the fortitude to bear the losses of his friends. These are close friends. These are not just business partners. They were friends. They were together. They did everything together. So definitely, he will always have the memories of them in him until, he departs this earth himself. And another question is he going to come back to Nigeria? He's a Nigerian, of course. We can't take that away. But is he going to come back to Nigeria? Because anytime he comes back, I think the environment, the space is going to remind him of what happened, that very day. It's a very sad one for all of us. Just a few days after, he won the last boxing match, and only for that to happen. Well, rest in peace to these friends of Anthony Joshua, and we hope that he is strong, and also wish him well as he moves ahead, to do other things. I don't know what is his next step, but whatever the next step is, he should know that Nigerians are solidly behind him. He might just become a coach, he might just become something else, but maybe I'm sure around the sporting field, maybe the boxing area, but I just do not want him to just go quiet and we'll never get to hear him again. Of course, he's a legend already, a living legend for us, and his name will always be remembered, even in the boxing space, even in the international world, not just in Nigeria. All right, let's move over to the last topic for today. Lady has stretched out her hand to shake the Olu of Warri. You know when they say you cannot shake a king, then you get to see someone stretch their hands just to shake the king, and you're asking yourself, what's going on? Did she not know that he's a king? What exactly is going on? That's like a big abomination. But guess what happened? Well, I'm not going to tell you. Let's take a look at the short video.
Executive Director. How are you?
Executive Director, let's
All right, I must tell you at this point, it seems some of us still do not know traditions. We do not know cultures. And I think this is the reason why we shouldn't scrap history from our curriculum in our schools. Please, if there was no history, if history hasn't been brought back, please bring it back. And also, I think we should start teaching from home. Teach your children how to... because, okay, I was holding my laughter for a very long time because... what was that? I'm sure she didn't know. No, I will not say she did not know that that was a king, because his regalia tells it all. So you know that that's a king. In nowhere in the world should you... modernization is costing a lot. Because, okay, if you don't want to kneel down, well, auntie, you don't want to kneel down because you were trained abroad or you were anywhere. But stretching your hands to shake a king in Nigeria, this one is not in London. This one is not Prince Charles. Is the Olu of Warri. Do you know? They will say I'm quarreling. They will say I'm shouting now at this point. But seriously, I think we need to start teaching, and learning our traditions. Learn different traditions. And you should know that as, a royal person shouldn't be shaken. Don't do that. Don't do that. I remember one time that Peter Obi, I think he shook Oba of Ibadan, and a lot of people will say, oh, why did you shake him? Why you're not supposed to shake him? But when you watch that video very well, you'll see that it was the Oba who actually stretched his hand first, and Peter Obi actually went with, bowing. That's a fellow man, and I think they should be of same age if I'm not mistaken, but then he still had to bow before. But you stood Then you stood like Iroko Ganga and you stretch your hand and you're not even a princess. You are not you're not even one of the chiefs in the cabinet. And you went to shake. No, now. I think let's do the right thing. Well, thank God for that security guy who was standing at last. He did it very fast. You could see the way girl, come on, calm down there. You don't know who you are shaking and all of that. And also, I like the fact that the Oluwavori didn't discard her at that moment. He actually answered all of her questions and also gave her a receptive welcome, at the end of the day, which is very good. But then the bottom line is let us go and learn. Learn your culture, learn your tradition, not just yours, everybody's own. Because you are going to be moving out. You don't know where you find yourself. There are some places that they will not accept. That you see, in fact, you have not even touched the Olu's hand. That hand that you brought out at that moment, immediately they feel you just short-lived, they will give you, and maybe they will tell you, sorry, it's tradition. Anybody who stretches their hand, they cut it off, and you can't do anything about it. You can only start, justice for so and so, and say they should abolish the tradition, but tradition still remains tradition. So let's learn to avoid costly mistakes and avoid things like that. Okay, all right, let's take some comments from social media. Let's see if some people also have same thoughts like mine. And this one is from Moyo Sore Oluwa, and Moyo says, stretching hands to an elderly person first, be one kind to me, not to talk of king. Like you stretched hands to shake a king? LOL. Like serious LOL. Serious LOL. This person just said it all. To an elderly person, it's a bit not comfortable. Then to a king, no now. A lot of LOL. The LOL should be long or limao. These are not just LOL. It should be long, honestly. All right, the next comment is coming from I am Bino. And Bino says, the king in his natural state almost wanted to as well before watch closely. The Oluwavori looks and seems very cool and welcoming. Loved the Happy New Year part as well. Of course, it's the Oluwavori now. That's the Gen Z king we have right now. He's flexing his reign, and long live him, by the way. All right, the last but not the least comment is coming from Official Royal Aura. And Royal Aura says, I hope everyone learns from this. Some king might not have securities or aides following them to curtail such behavior, but you must be sensible enough to know that you shouldn't stretch your hands to a king. End of quote. That's the end. She pinned it. That's to show you how serious it is. She pinned that particular comment. Your sixth sense, everything should be working. Stretching your hands, no, it's really wrong. So I hope you learned something back there, and tell me what exactly are your thoughts. Use that social media handles you're seeing right here on your screen. It's on YouTube, Global TV NG. Do not fail to drop your thoughts. We need them. It encourages us and also tells us that you are part of the conversation. All right, this is where we draw the curtains for you. We wish we had more time, but do not worry. You can join us again on Friday, same time. We're going nowhere. We're bringing you more stories as they unfold on social media. I am Ogochukwu Mobno. Bye for now.